Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. So recently, I've seen a lot of movie YouTubers indulge in this new trend called Everything I Watched in This Month. I think Carson Runquist kind of started it. I think that's how you say his name. It's kind of complicated. I don't know if I'm saying it right. It's got a Q in it. That makes it complicated to say. But yeah, without further ado, let's just go ahead and dive into Everything I Watched in the month of January. Hold on, I'm still trying to find my notes. But let's kick this off with Hotel Transylvania 4. This movie is one of those weird things where, like, I watched it and I was like, you know what, this is a really good family film and I really enjoyed it. But then you go on the internet and everyone's like, I hate this film! And you're like, whoa! I thought it was funny. So I guess I just happened to enjoy this film more than most people did. But honestly, I just enjoyed all of the dynamics between like Dracula and Johnny. And I thought the human transformation could have been kind of a bad idea for a series about monsters. But I thought they did it good because it helped add new elements into the franchise we hadn't seen before. And I also enjoyed all of the characters quite a bit, which is funny because they lost all of the original cast members, including Paul Blart, Kevin James. And overall, I just found this film very entertaining and funny. But if you want to hear more of my thoughts about this film and the $100 million scam with Amazon that I believe took place, you can click this card right here and you'll get way more of my thoughts on it. So go ahead and do that if you want more thoughts on it. So, oh, you're still here. You can go. Oh, you're just gonna go down there. That's really weird. Are you just gonna stay down there for like the whole video? There's nothing wrong with that. That's just kind of weird. Let's move on to the next film.
Do you like scary movies?
No, not really. I think you got the wrong
Don't
number.
you dare hang up!
Anyways, the fun story, in the month of January, leading up to Scream 5, I watched through every single Scream movie for the first time, and I absolutely fell in love with this franchise. It is so awesome. Which means for this video, I have to review the entire Scream franchise. And at first, I was like, that's a lot of Scream, okay? I might lose my breath. Ha! That's because I'm screaming. But then I remembered, have you guys ever seen one of those Minecraft speedrun videos like Dream? Like Dream? Like professional musician Dream. So I thought, you know what? To review every single Scream movie, I should do it instead of a speed run. I should do a Scream run. So now, officially presenting the world's fastest Scream one. So now presenting the world's fastest Scream run. 3, 2, 1. Go! The first Scream movie is a masterpiece of horror comedy, and it is insane how clever it is and the way it demonstrates a love for its genre while also building new things on top of it and reinventing the genre. And all of the characters are so interesting right from the jump and such a blast to watch, especially Matthew Lillard. He is honestly a national treasure, so please don't steal him, Nicolas Cage. Scream 2, the Screamquel, is an okay follow-up. I don't think the horror of the film works very well at all, but the comedy commentary about sequels, I think, totally works. And while I do not love this movie, my biggest positive is that it definitely does take risks, and it doesn't feel like a safe sequel. And while the Ghostface reveals in this sequel are kind of divisive, I actually really liked them, and overall, I do like Scream 2, but I think it's a big step down from 1. Scream 3, Scream Wrecked, is an even bigger step down. While still being an okay film, I once again don't find this film very scary at all, but the comedy, I think, still works. And the twist reveal itself wasn't too horrid, but then they start to retcon things from the first, and I think that it made it worse. And you can tell that that's a good point because it rhymed. Scream 4, The Road Scream, is the thing that just totally reinvigorated this franchise and made you go, yeah, Ghostface is back! I honestly thought this film would suck because, you know, it's Scream 4. it's Scream 4. But man, this film blew me away. It's brutal and scarier than 2 and 3 combined, and its commentary is literally so far ahead of its time, and the twist reveal, to me, is the most shocking one of the entire franchise. I love everything they did with all of the characters, and I loved every second of that finale, and people really need to praise Scream 4 more. And once again, you can tell that I'm right, because that point also rhymes. Scream 5, in my opinion, it's just a lot of fun, but it's still not as great as the first and fourth one. But overall, it's very enjoyable, and I really liked all the new characters along with the old ones. My biggest positive, though, is the extremely great commentary. This film absolutely nailed that. But if you want to hear more about Scream 5's twist ending, you can just go ahead and click this card right here. Gosh darn it. Why are you here? You're just gonna go back? What is wrong with you? What are you doing? But yeah, if you want to hear me talk more about Scream 5 and how much I love the motivation, that card's right there. Click it. Well, guys, we did it. We set the record for the fastest Scream run in all of history. This is truly a great moment in gaming history. Does anyone have any fidget spinners? And I still mark this as a great achievement for the channel, even though there are no other competitors in the Scream Run Championship at this time. I still count this as a 100% victory. But now let's just go ahead and dive into the rest of the movies I watched in 2022 so far, in January, because that's the title of the video. Yes, I know, I'm a little late to the party by finally watching Frozen 2, but I finally got around to watching the sequel to the film Cold. And to be honest, I thought it was pretty fine, I guess. Like, pretty much everything about this movie just feels kind of fine. To be fair, though, I have aged a lot since 2013, so, like, now the fact that I'm older and I haven't seen Frozen in a while, it could have made me not like this film as much. Some things never change. Okay, well, my age has, because now I'm old, and I'm an adult, and I'm talking about Frozen 2 on the internet. What does my life come to? But Frozen 2 is still fine. The characters are fine. The story is fine. Olaf reenacting the first one is terrific. And, that's about it. There's not too much to say. It was just okay. And you know that that's a good point because, once again, it rhymed. I'm like Eminem in this video. That's an awfully hot coffee pot. Let's move on. That was cringy. I'll be honest, I did not care to see this film in theaters. To be honest, when I saw the trailers, I thought it looked like a horrible flop. But then, after finally getting around to watching it, because I heard so many people talking about it, I was very pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed it. It's honestly just a pretty good film, and it's really cool that it's kind of captured the pop culture zeitgeist in a little bit, because I've heard a lot of people talking about it, which is funny, because it kind of goes against the main song. You're not supposed to talk about Bruno. Am I right? Overall, this is now my favorite family film about generational trauma. But joking aside, I also just loved all of the characters and their special quirks. And also, this movie left me thinking, with the great songs in this film, it has been a great year for Lin-Manuel Miranda, okay? He wrote all of the music to Tick, Tick, Boom, which is Tick, Tick amazing. He also wrote all of the music for Encanto, and he also wrote all of the music for Vivo. Speaking of Vivo... Yes, Maximilian Zimmerman, I finally did it. I watched Vivo. And I gotta be honest, I have actually listened to the soundtrack of this film a lot, and I actually, this movie really surprised me by how much I enjoyed it. It was a very swell movie. I enjoyed this film so much more than I thought, and I think the main reason of it is that it is consistently packing an emotional punch. The movie starts off and you're just having fun, and then something really dark kind of happens that I wasn't expecting, and it just gives this entire film a consistent emotional feeling. I can't believe that Sony Animations is actually making good animated films after making so much garbage like the Emoji Movie and Open Season. You're doing great, Sony. And man, the songs are an absolute blast. I love the over-the-top fun of My Own Drum, but also the somber songs like One More Song. It's so good. I don't know why I had to say to make my point, but I did. It was very important. Very important. Because I had to make a point. Gosh darn it. Stupid jokes. And I am not ashamed to admit that I absolutely rock out to my own drum. I know that song is meant to inspire 6-year-old girls, but you know what? I feel empowered anyway.
I bounce to the beat of my own drum.
One more song, just one more. This is an encore. Fun story. In the middle of watching Frozen 2 and Encanto, in the same day, I watched Predator in between, which I feel like works because they're all very similar films. And to be honest, I had heard so many people talk about how awesome this movie was, so I kind of went in thinking, you know, is this movie just gonna be like manly and not be like an actual good movie? Like, is this movie just gonna be like muscles, explosions, machine guns, more muscle? But I'll tell you what, this movie surprised me, and it does deserve to be a classic because it's super well written, and all of the characters, they have these actual like emotional moments and also fun camaraderie. And it's interesting how they literally let these side characters at some points deal with these losses and also these bursts of anger and wanting revenge on this vile beast. Now, I've never watched many movies with Arnold Schwarzenegger in them. I think the only one I've seen is Jingle All the Way. And so I was like, Arnold's not going to be very good in this. He's just going to be silly. But no, he actually suits this movie very well and does a good job. Like, I completely bought into his character. And that entire epic final showdown where it's just Arnold's muscles versus the Predator is just like terrific, and you totally feel the tension and the stakes. And I feel like it does just such a great job at ratcheting the tension by Arnold having a plan and then it doesn't go his way, and the Predator finally like revealing his face. It just all makes for such a memorable showdown, and overall, I'm so glad that I finally watched this classic. I guess that now this means I have to watch the sequels, even though I've heard they suck. No, I don't like scary movies. We've already done this bit. That being said, though, I did watch *Malignant*, which does not feel like a movie I should like, but I do quite a bit, okay? I don't know why, but I was home alone one night, like, literally home alone. It was pitch black at night, and I just decided, you know what? I want to watch a scary movie, because I'm a big boy, okay? And so I watched *Malignant*, and it was an absolutely transcendent experience, okay? But man, I loved this film, okay? And the ending is so bonkers. It just blew my mind open. And if you've seen the film, that's actually kind of a joke. And the ending of this film is just so insane and gory and insane that I actually like started recording a video of me just reacting to the absolute insanity bonkers of it. So I'm just gonna play that video right now. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh! Oh my gosh! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh! Oh wait, no, sorry. That was actually the clip of me watching Vivo. What? There was a scary snake! Slytherin. Yeah, in the end, I loved *Malignant*, and it was just pure, cheesy, good horror fun. And it was just such a fun horror film that I'm so glad that I took a risk and watched. And if you haven't seen it, you should watch it, but just know that it's insane, and it is also very cheesy, okay? And I was enjoying it for like the first 75%, but that last 25% of the movie was literally, it made the film unforgettable. I could not forget that ending, no matter how hard I try. The Eyes of Tammy Faye is a terrific film that you might not have heard a lot about, but it is honestly a terrific drama that is all about the corruption of religion and human beings. And I love the film so much. This is actually the second time I've watched it, but I really wish that I'd actually gone and seen it in theaters, because I really should have supported a film that's this good. Both of the leads, being Jessica Chastain and Andrew Garfield, are electric, and watching them slowly snap is so sad. And I think this film is super underrated, and I highly recommend you go watch it. It is absolutely a great tale watching the downfall of human beings. It's so good. I think that the ending goes on maybe a little too long, but overall, so good. I wish I'd supported it. So if I keep on doing this series and talking about every single film I watched this month, you're probably gonna see this film show up a lot because I rewatch it quite often. It's one of my favorite, just fun movies to watch.
Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do?
And also, if you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you guys leave a comment and tell me that you want me to do more, or say, I don't want you to do more. I hate you. And you can also say that, and then I won't do anymore. And also, if you're enjoying and you want to give this video a like and subscribe, that's also really cool. Thank you. But yeah, after watching the disappointment that has been Boba Fett so far, I just wanted to watch something that reminded me of good Star Wars. And this is good Star Wars. I didn't even take notes on this film, okay? Because I have this film basically memorized. I think the entire second half of this movie is just so beautifully tragic. I love seeing Order 66 and the final bit of Anakin killing Mace Windu with Palpatine, and Palpatine manipulating Anakin through all of the first half, and how that pays off with Anakin and Obi-Wan's epic duel with lava. It's awesome, okay? Overall, this is still my favorite Star Wars film. I love it a lot. I think it does redeem the prequels, even if I don't like the other two as much. This film just showed me that, yeah, Star Wars can be really great, and I should just not think about Boba Fett. Because it's not that. And the last film that I watched this month, before we get to the TV shows I watched, is Jojo Rabbit. And every single time I watch this movie, I love it even more. This film is one of my favorite movies I've seen in the last decade. It is so great. The way it combines such witty and terrific bonkers comedy, along with some of the most heartfelt and just brutal moments of the year. Like that butterfly scene where he's following the butterfly down the street and that pan up. I mean, that is unforgettable imagery. Like that, it's so just ingrained in your head and it makes your jaw drop to the floor. This movie is so terrific and it's just so great how it can make you laugh out loud, but then also cry. Also out loud. Like, ah! This movie is just such a great demonstration of how you can make a drama that is heartfelt, but also funny, and also how to do some dark humor right. I can't remember if this film got nominated for Best Picture, but in my opinion, it totally should have, and it totally deserved the Oscar for Best Original Screenplay. Overall, I love this film, and I can't wait to see what Taika's gonna do next, which is Thor 4. Thor 4. Okay, I don't know if I'm actually that excited for Thor 4. We'll see, we'll see. Oh, and before we move on, I also watched Playing with Fire for the 682nd time. Or was it the 683rd? No, I think it was the 682nd. Okay, if it would have been the third, that would have made me look crazy. But let's go ahead and move on to talk about all of the TV shows I watched this month. And before you ask, yes, I have been watching the sucky Boba Fett show, but I'm not going to talk about any show till the entire season is out, so I'll talk about that in February. Because I have a lot of thoughts on it. The main thought being it sucks. Now, I am a massive fan of all of the Karate Kid movies, and I have loved the past seasons of Cobra Kai, but personally, I did enjoy this season a lot, but I felt like it was the weakest. I just found that the drama wasn't as compelling as it used to be, and the action felt more stiff and robotic. Kind of like this. And I feel like they made one big mistake and kind of sold out in a way, but if you want to know what I'm talking about, just go ahead and watch my video that I just made about Cobra Kai Season 4, where I review it while also fighting in a karate tournament. And I give way more of my thoughts about Cobra Kai Season 4 in that video, so go check that one out. And jeez! What the frick? What the frick, man? I don't know what's going on. That's right, I've decided to watch The Walking Dead for the first time, and I like that every single person that I've told that I'm like, oh hey, I'm gonna start watching The Walking Dead. Every single person has consistently told me, no, don't do it. Turn around now. It gets so bad and sucky and bad. Do not watch this show. But of course, I didn't listen because I'm so rebellious. I know I'm dabbing ironically, But this is still too many dabs, even if I'm being ironic. I apologize to the viewers. I should put a viewer discretion advised. Way too many dabs in this video. But so far, season 1 was very good and did not disappoint. And I loved all of this weird ragtag group of characters, especially Rick. And I loved the filmmaking style and the way that it's not all this big flashing iconography. It's instead these very close-up shots of the face and almost this grainy look to it. And I feel like it adds this like down-to-earth feeling that if it was shot in this big, flashy, expensive, bold way, it would kind of lose this realism, gritty feeling. But man, the prosthetics of the zombies knocked it out of the park. I have never seen zombies honestly look so realistic and intimidating. And I really gotta give hats off to the prosthetic people for achieving such a terrific look. And man, I just loved all of the emotional moments between the characters, but also the tension that builds between them in this stressful environment. And season 1 built to a very weird and unexpected finale in the lab that was actually surprisingly hard-hitting. Overall, it was a very good season. And even though everyone's like, no, Carter, don't watch the show, it's gonna get bad. I'm still gonna watch the show. And I'm not gonna dab again, I promise. I'm gonna try to give all of my Peacemaker thoughts in one long sentence, okay? Peacemaker was the standout in the Suicide Squad film, and I was super excited to see what James Gunn was gonna do with his character in a TV show. But the problem was, I was watching the show and I got kind of invested, but everything around Peacemaker in episode 1, I was just not getting attached to. And by the time that we reached the end of episode 1, they were kind of doing some really weird things. I know that James Gunn is kind of a weird, dark sense of humor, and I'm fine with dark sense of humor, but by the time we got to the end, some of the stuff that was going on was just a little bit too R-rated for my taste, and I don't know, I have certain morals about what I watch, so I just decided that after the first episode, I'd call it quits, and which is sad, because I was relatively enjoying episode 1, and everyone's saying that it gets really good in the future, but I didn't really want to watch anymore after what they did at the end of episode 1, and that's really unfortunate that I'm not going to finish the show, because John Cena is my spirit animal. You don't have to share my opinion, though. Please, if you're watching this video, leave your comments about Peacemaker in the comments, because that's where the comments go, and I would love to read them, so please, go do that. Let's move on. This month, I also watched 2 episodes of The Amazing World of Gumball, that being The Girlfriend and The Puppets. The Girlfriend happens to be the worst rated episode of Gumball by far. It goes from a 6.5 to a 5. That's a big gap. And it also happens to be a very controversial episode because it's about abuse. But overall, I don't think it's actually that bad of an episode because I think it actually has some really funny humor, but the problem is that it has this kind of toxic message and undertone, and if you want to hear more of my thoughts about the episode The Girlfriend, card is right there. Go check out my thoughts. But I also watched the episodes The Puppets, which is an episode that I really like, and yes, I am working on a video about it, and it is coming soon, so stay tuned. And subscribe, and turn on the bell if you want to be notified when it comes out. But man, this episode is one of the weirdest and funniest episodes of the entire show. And the entire Puppet World finale is so much fun and just beautiful looking. And I know that some people were a little bit disappointed in the finale, and I do gotta agree, there's some stuff that I didn't like, video coming soon about it. But you cannot deny that this episode does in fact live up to the title, The Puppets, because there are, in fact, the puppets. Video coming soon about it. Stay tuned. Oh, also, just to take a quick break from the TV shows, I also want to do a segment called What I Listened to in January, talking about musica. This month, I only listened to Dream. Anyways, back to the TV shows. No, I'm just kidding. But it is actually pretty funny. This entire month, I kid you not, for Christmas, I got every single 21 Pilots album. And I know what you're thinking, and yes, I am emo. But this entire month, I kid you not, I have listened to nothing but strictly the Scaled and Icy album over and over and over. I don't know why, but this album has just, like, become hypnotic to me. I love this album so much, and I think that my new favorite songs are The Outside, which just slaps. It is the most fun song to sing along to. And also, the closer, Redecorate, is actually so hard-hitting, and it's genuinely helped me through some stuff in life. It's an album that I liked a lot at first, and it's the thing that got me into this band. But this month, it has just been the soundtrack of my life. Anyways, though, back to the TV shows. Yeah, that's right. I finally watched the cultural phenomenon about South Carolina, Outer Banks. Is it North Carolina? I think it's about North Carolina. Oh no, I've turned the whole fan base against me already. My sister showed me this show, and honestly, I was like, I'm not gonna like this. But then, in fact, I did like this. I honestly expected much worse just because it's such a TikTok trendy, cool show, but honestly, it's pretty good. Season 1 is just a pretty fun treasure hunt mystery that creates a group of friends that you want to hang out with. Overall, I just thought that Season 1 was kind of just an enjoyable season, but then I watched Season 2, and you know what? I'll say it. Season 2 blows Season 1 out of the water, okay? Season 2 of Outer Banks, I will take to my grave as that it is much better than Season 1. And I think the main reason is that Season 1 was already a little bit bonkers, crazy, and weird, but this season feels like it really goes for it. In my opinion, everything in Season 2 is actually a big step up from Season 1. Even John B's abs, they're looking even better, guys. What? Okay, we already established I'm a 6-year-old girl earlier, okay? I like the Beat My Own Drum song. But this season is just so much crazier, and I loved it. And I had to say, my favorite character in this show was the despicable and vile Ward, also known as the dad from Jessie.
It feels like a party every day. Hey, just say.
I swear, guys, he is giving Oscar-worthy turns in this show, okay? He is so awesome. Also, Rafe fully divulges into insanity in this season, and he's perfectly insane. And you know, it is really weird that in this fun treasure hunting show, we have this dude who's like struggling with like schizophrenia and going insane. It's really weird, but I feel like because they embrace it all, it works. And the main cast of Friends is also so much fun, and I really got invested in JJ out of all characters, and I think that's mainly to do with his relationship with his dad throughout the first 2 seasons, and I hope we get more of that in Season 3. I don't think we are, but I really hope so, because I'm just so intrigued by how they work together. And the Season 2 finale was perfectly ambitious and really got me invested in the show that I thought I wasn't gonna like because I thought it was just a show about John B's abs. But it's actually more than that. It's also about JJ's abs. Oh, the last show I watched this month was 2 episodes of the Netflix series The Hype House. Remember how I just mentioned that I thought I wouldn't like Outer Banks because it was kind of a TikTok-y trendy show? Well, this is literally a TikTok-y trendy show, and it sucks. This is easily the worst thing I watched this month, and I only watched a fourth of it. If I'd watched the rest of the show, I might not even be here today from dying of boredom and from lack of brain cells. I honestly watched this show just to have a fun hate watch with my friend, but by the time we got to episode 2, we were like literally ready to turn it off, just like we are done with this show. It's so dumb and stupid. Turn it off. These 2 episodes genuinely drained the life out of me. Before watching this show, I was an innocent, fun kid, and afterwards, I have spiraled into alcoholism and depression. I'm so sad. Thanks a lot, Lil Huddy. Look, okay, I get it. This is a reality show. It's about drama, but I hate the drama of this show. I hate anything that treats TikTok seriously. I know, maybe that's very hypocritical of me because I just don't like TikTok in general, and I think YouTube is like the greatest social media app, okay? And I think because TikTok is so stupid that it's actually made YouTubers more respectable. And so that's about the only thing good that app has done. And look, if I'm being honest, there are really funny and talented people on TikTok too. But I think they'd be more funny and talented if they did their stuff on YouTube because it gives you so much more free reign. Plus, they can now just post their content on the really glitchy YouTube Shorts. Okay, fine, YouTube Shorts isn't very good, but they're working on it. And I hate watching the show when they're like, oh no, we're working so hard to produce this content. And then their content is just like... That's not content. And on one hand, I felt like maybe I could actually relate to this show because, you know, they talk about the struggles with your channel, like losing subscribers or your views are down, your watch time is down and stuff like that. And even though I'm literally not even making money off YouTube, I get stressed about that stuff sometimes. And, you know, even recently I've started to just have to accept that I'm never gonna get monetized because I'm just like, you know what? I'll never get enough watch time. I'll never get enough views. I'll never get enough people who are actually dedicated to watching my channel. And maybe that's okay. Maybe I should just stick to having a core audience and that's all I'm ever meant to be. But this show just annoys me by how seriously they take TikTok, and honestly, it's really not a fun show to watch. It's really sad, okay? This show takes a thirst trap dance app, and it's like, you know, you should feel really bad for them. And I'm like, I don't want to feel bad for them. I don't want to feel bad for this guy. The only person I felt sad for is the crew filming the show. And I was just thinking about the whole time, the people behind the camera who were filming this were probably adults. And the whole time they were probably thinking like, what are they saying? Like, what do these words mean? Did they just say sus? What does that mean? That's another thing. I'm imagining the editor who's like editing the show, and like little Honey's like, you know, at this title card, can you put the word sus in there? And the guy's like, what the frick is that? And he's like, it's just like a cool term. I'm a vampire. And then the editor was like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. Can you tell that I'm losing my mind? I don't like this show. I'm sorry. This show just brings out the worst in me. I need another alcoholism beer thing. Oh, yay, I have more thoughts on the show. Nothing redeems this show, okay? I cannot care an ounce about the drama because they all seem like stuck-up jerks and take TikTok way too seriously, okay? And maybe that's just a pet peeve of mine. I just don't like it when people take TikTok seriously. I don't know. I'm mad. I don't like this show. And I just did not feel much emotions for any of the characters. Even when they try to develop them and they're like, look, this guy had a tragic backstory with he grew up in like a very like poor house and his dad was abusive. And I'm just thinking the whole time like, so I guess he didn't grow up in a very hype house. But yeah, this show just wasn't funny. I watched 2 episodes and I hated them, and I'm never gonna finish the show because I already said I hated it. But that was everything I watched this month. I saw a lot of really good stuff other than the hype house. But everything I watched this month was actually really good for the most part, and I enjoyed everything from good to great. I'm excited to continue on this series if you guys want me to do it into February. So thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure you guys subscribe to see more content about movies and TV shows. So subscribe to support the vision, and I'll see ya.